Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Man, I got this story out of Memphis, I believe. It's a sad story that I'm about to bring to you, but I felt I had to touch on it because one, to me, it brings the question about, I guess, family structure and corporations and how they will use you until the day you die, but they will replace you, and how that we as a people have to understand that, and I had to understand that and take it on a personal level about how these companies really don't care about you and there's really no loyalty. So you really just have to have loyalty for yourself. But let's get into it, man. This is from yahoo.com by way of the root. And it says an 86-year-old black woman died at a FedEx facility. And she isn't the first. The employee who died in a freak accident at the FedEx World Hub 2 weeks ago was identified as an elderly black woman. As if this discovery isn't disturbing enough, authorities say she's the fifth person to die following an injury at the job. Verna Mae Jackson, yes, she sounds like a grandmother, 86, was a package handler at the Memphis FedEx facility where larger freights are being shipped to major airports, including John F. Kennedy International Airport, New York, per the Daily Memphian. The report says the tug driver was pulling a load of mail but didn't use his horn to signal he was moving. Jackson scurried behind to grab a loose envelope that was sticking out of the container, and seconds later she was crushed. Now, one thing I do know about is warehouse work. I worked in a warehouse for about 13 years, starting at the age of 18, I believe. 18, yeah, until I'm out, yeah, probably about right. And it's I don't know how it is now, but I can tell you like this. I remember I worked in an office supply warehouse, so it was indoors, climate control. It can get cold sometimes, but let the garage doors, the freight doors open and close, stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. But the warehouses, you had forklifts, you had Taylor Duns, and if you don't use those horns, anybody can walk around them corners. So that's why they always tell you, to blow your horn before you move. Pull out. When you pull out an aisle, go slow. Look both ways. Look at the mirrors that are up in the ceiling so you can see if anybody coming around the corner. A lot of times you get lackadaisical or whatever, and you're in a hurry, you're rushing, or you ain't paying attention, and you might hit that corner kind of fast. Somebody be sitting there. Things like that do happen. So safety is always number one. I mean, every morning they speak in safety. Safety shoes, safety hats, steel toe shoes, everything. They want you to seat belts when you're on the machine, harnesses when you're on the machine, everything. Because they don't want any injuries, because it's too easy. Because these machines are weighing like 2,000-3,000 pounds easy, and they are no big. I mean, they're no bigger than probably 4 feet wide and square, with a forklift on it. So that's a lot of weight, because them batteries are heavy as hell. for one thing. But when I worked in the warehouse, I know 2 people who probably died just for maybe like respiratory kind of illnesses or some kind of infection. Because I remember you used to get off work and you could take a bath, a shower. Now you could sweat like a sun gun in the summer down here in Texas, and it get cold. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not like, I did work in a warehouse, on a dock one time where there was like no doors, and it was just like a flat roof, and 18 wheelers come in and out all the time. So you wearing 2-3 layers with a skull cap. Shout out to Philly for banning people who walking down the street with a dang skull cap like you about to rob somebody. But I've seen, like I say, you take a shower, take a bath, and you be digging in your ears with a towel, soap in your nose, and it'd be black. It'd be soot. I know 2 guys who died, I'm gonna say, as a result of working in the warehouse, because one, you get sick because all them germs and stuff and get into your immune system. And I mean, it should break you down. Working on your feet all day in different climates and all this stuff, the dust and dirt and, you know, feces, because you got rats, you got birds and everything else flying through there, bugs, mosquitoes like that big biting you. And I mean, when you hit them, you see the blood squirting out. I mean, it was crazy. It could be crazy in these warehouses. And I know 2 guys, good guys I know, that got sick. Now these are guys that was kind of, I ain't gonna say they're really heavy set, but you know, they had like, their belly's kind of heavy set or whatever. One might have been in his early 30s. Dang, I think he was in his early 30s, mid to early 30s. And another one might have been in his 40s. Maybe if this is 10, 15 years ago, probably my dad's age, so maybe his 50s. Late 40s, early 50s at the time. I remember they had got sick. These two separate occasions though. But they got sick. They was out for a while, but then they came back and they lost a lot of weight. But one of the guys, the older guy, he rushed back too soon, and he ended up dying, like for real. And then another guy, same thing. He was out for a while. I don't know what it was. And he came back. He was like a lot smaller than what he was when he started. He was able to even get a job in the office and still end up passing away. I know a guy who fell out the dock because somebody was moving an 18-wheeler, and you know, so they got, I don't know if we had lights on the walls, but anyway, he running in and out of a truck and not paying attention, just flying, trying to hurry. I don't know what he was doing. And that guy in 18-wheeler pulled that trailer out away from the dock, and the dude went straight to the ground. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And another guy, they tell you how to load stuff in the trailers. You had a real heavy load at the nose, and they said if you got one piece and it's real big, they always say put it in the middle. Don't put it in the back, don't put it in the front, put it in the center of the trailer if there's no other piece. And the guy that usually move the trailers, once they close the trailer, the guy that moves it, once they close it, lock it, tell the guy out there on the grounds to move it out. And he pulled the pin and it crushed him. I don't know what eventually happened to him, but you saw that trailer laying there. You didn't want to look out there. You know, it's an ambulance out there. They're trying to figure out, whatever. But I've seen, like I say, in other words, warehousing is a dangerous job. So to hear that an 86-year-old woman is at FedEx, and you know how these conditions are, because a lot of people complain about how these conditions are. Ain't nothing changed. To hear the 86-year-old woman is working at a warehouse as a package handler, and she might be moving like small packages, which she probably thinking, hey, I'm out, I'm doing something. I love the people, I love being around people. I can do this job. But at 86, I mean, you mean to tell me that she couldn't find anything else to fulfill her life than to work at a FedEx place, a place, like I said, even if you get sick or if you end up dying working at these jobs, the jobs are not going to shut down. As a matter of fact, we used to always say, shoot, they're going to post your job before you are cold in the ground. They're going to post your job and fill it, because business got to keep going. So we sit here and try to show loyalty to these companies that don't show loyalty back. I mean, but they're a business, and the bottom line is the bottom dollar. So we have to get it. We have to understand it. We may not like it, but that's how the game goes. The only way to get out of that rat race is to do your own thing, to find your own fulfillment. Maybe start your own business or find you a job that you enjoy. And undoubtedly, I guess this is what she did. But at 86, fam, where was the fam? At 86 years old, you know what her fulfillment should be? And I'm just going to speak on my opinion, and it could be wrong. It should be grandkids and great grandkids. You see, We talk about generational wealth, and people put out these videos and podcasts talking good talk, sound like Democrats saying a bunch of nothing, but they don't really have like tangible strategies. They tell you, hey, you can do this and do that and make a lot of money, make a bag. But then it's like, what you're doing is trying to beat the system, and the system is going to catch up to you real quick, like. But they don't really put out realistic plans. Like, for instance, 86 years old, not gonna get rich. She's not making a whole lot of money. That's for dang on sure. So maybe she's getting a pension. Maybe she's getting Social Security. I don't know. Maybe she's doing it because she got bills to pay. Maybe she's raising grandkids and great grandkids, like a lot of our elderly Black mothers are doing, with nobody actually circumventing that and saying something is not right. What she should be doing at 86, like I said, for fulfillment, is the grandkids and the great grandkids. What should be happening is, we're talking about generational wealth now. She should have children or grandchildren who want to go to college, or who's trying to work to make money to maybe go to school, or maybe start their own business, or to try to get a career, to learn a trade. It's trying to stack money, buy a house, get an automobile, whatever. Grandmother should be having fulfillment watching them grandbabies or great grandbabies and getting paid for it. I know people think, oh, that's family. They shouldn't ask for money. But if somebody is like watching your child every day while you try to, dig yourself out of a hole, they should be compensated for it. And or some kind of make people feel appreciated for what they've done for you. When people are don't feel that they're appreciated for the work that they do for family, especially family, they don't want to do for family no more. So I don't know this woman's situation or family structure, but at 86 years old, my grandmother worked at Curtis Mattress back in the day. For a lot of you youngsters don't know what that is, so Google it. But for my older people, y'all know what Curtis Mattress is. She worked there, but she retired. My grandmother, when I wasn't working, I never seen my grandmother work at a job. She'd already retired from Curtis Matthews and got a house in the country that she grew up in, getting her little check, a little retirement check, living off of that. Cool being with the help of, some of her children and stuff. But she wasn't working on no Curtis Matthews or no service merchandise or UPS warehouse, no dang 80 years old. Man, my grandmother was doing her own thing. At home, got people, for a minute she thought she wanted to go to a nursing home. That's because everybody around her had died. But my dad was trying to tell her not to go, but then she insisted, so he put it in there. I think she was back out in 2 weeks. She was like, nah, that ain't where I belong. He said, try to tell you. But anyway, she ended up moving like in an apartment, actually like next to her sister. Because they was independent. They were just elderly, independent. Need somebody to come and see about them every now and then. They were like in their 90s when they passed. But again, my thing is, at 86, I can't see my mother working at FedEx at 86. I would have to find her something to do. And maybe, like say, kept her mind going, kept her alive, and that's fine. But we got to do better as a family or as a country or as a people to look out for our elderly people. Because they've been through enough. 86, man, the woman done lived through Jim Crow, damn near sharecropping, done seen it all, especially in Memphis too. Anyway, let's get back to this so we can finish. It says, what this say? There's a quote here. It says, it's the busiest time of the year for FedEx and one of the hardest for families of loved ones who've lost their lives at the World Hub. 1 year ago, November 30th, to the day, Angelo Scott died after the UTV he was driving was hit by an industrial truck. Jessica James died last February after the forklift she was operating fell on top of her. Dante Tate Young was killed in 2019 after being hit by a shipping container door. Damn. And grandmother Ellen Gladney was found under a motorized mobile conveyor belt system in 2017. Now, why was an elderly woman working in this seamlessly dangerous environment anyway? Attorney Jeff Rosenblum, who has represented the family of at least 10 victims of Hub-related deaths, said what led to Jackson's death had little to do with age. Instead, he argued that the increase of activity during holiday season promotes a culture of emphasizing packages over people. He also said the lack of training for temporary workers and the neglect to update facility equipment creates additional safety issues. Same thing been going on, like I said, since I was working. And we talking about, I started working in a warehouse in 96. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I worked for 13 years after that. I know people who worked there, retired, I think still working there. Miss Jackson loved her job. It gave her purpose. She loved her coworkers. She loved her camaraderie. It gave her purpose. Like I said, why would a job at FedEx handling packages give an 86-year-old woman purpose? It just doesn't make sense. She was supportive of them and they were supportive of her, Rosenblum said. I don't want to take that self-worth away from anybody who had the ability to work. They have the right to make that decision for themselves. And if they think they do, then the employee has the obligation to determine if they do. Which is true. So like I said, you got an employee who said, hey, 86-year-old woman, shoot, come on in. Because one, you don't have enough employees. When you have high turnover, you trying to get, in the beginning, you think it's all good because young people just getting started. I can hire anybody, which is how it always worked. But the problem is now everything is online. People can see complaints about the job, about a particular facility or company, and can choose not to work there and choose to go somewhere else. And a lot of these groups, I say like group, I don't say social groups. It's like nursing. It's like certain nursing, like dialysis. It's like only a few dialysis companies, around. So most people, after a while, they get to know each other because they all done worked in all the companies, and they can tell you what's good and bad about it. Nursing homes, like the same thing, especially in a small town, same thing. You got like 3 or 4 nursing homes, 5 or 6 of them, and everybody there knows each other, especially small town, and people grew up with each other. So, I mean, they can choose. It's easy to figure out who to work for, who not to work for. So, you got people who just don't want to work, and like this lawyer was saying, you got temporary workers. They don't know nothing. They probably can barely speak English. Probably get no training. Probably ask them, can you work the forklift? And they say C, and they just let them jump on and they take off, and it becomes problems. And it could be it could be detrimental to everybody. So FedEx was previously fined up to $50,000 for the deaths at this particular hub. The Tennessee Occupational Safety and Health Administration uncovered a series of violations with the hub that FedEx allegedly agreed to address, according to the report. It's unclear if TOSHA, I don't know what that is. No, the Tennessee Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Amazing. It's unclear if TOSHA launched an additional probe following Ms. Jackson's death. We extend our deepest sympathies to the families and friends who are mourning their loved ones. Safety is our highest priority, and we are investigating the circumstances of this accident, FedEx said in response to the incident. Hell, you can put anybody's name: FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, whatever. But again, fam, like I said, there's no loyalty in these bit out here in this corporate world. So you gotta go out there and make your money. But like I said, a lot of people want to be happy, but a lot of people don't want to fulfill a duty. Because at 86 years old, she should be at someone's house. Like I said, she could be taking care of watching kids while her kids, grandkids, great-grandkids are out there trying to make their own bag, try to raise money, trying to build for the next generation. Instead, she's working at a warehouse, a dangerous warehouse, who pretty much don't give a darn about them. I mean, let's just be honest. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. This is a sad story. Like I said, we all gotta do better as a people. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.